I don't like sand. This course is rough and irritating. And it gets everywhere.
Guys, welcome to the mega review of the Star Wars saga. Every trilogy. We're going to start with the originals. I have a lightsaber right here, and I made this, actually, from a tube.
Vincent took ours away.
Yeah, because they kept on fighting and wouldn't stop acting like children. And also, we're not even going to use them in the freaking videos anyway. I think Star Wars is a great saga.
I could agree.
I love it. It's perfect to experience anything. It's like a masterpiece or a classic space soap opera, or a smaller scale heist movie, or the equivalent to what a nightmare feels like. So, we're gonna start with episode 4.
Ah, yes.
I'm just going to put it out there. I think A New Hope is a perfect movie. Flaws and all.
It's a classic.
It's
a classic. It's
the
good.
best Star Wars movie, period. I don't care. I don't care what you fucking say.
It's the one.
best.
It's the one you can watch over and over and over again.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It is the best Star Wars movie, in my opinion. Well, actually, I don't know how to say it. It's just like, I just love how, corny and, how, just I kind of like how sloppy it is. Because, you look at, if you actually pay attention and look at Darth Vader's helmet, it's not very good. His helmet has fucking fingerprints on it.
Yeah. I wonder who's...
I never even noticed that.
Yeah, and, but I like that. I like how dirty and used, the set looks and how everything looks. I don't have a problem with the first Star Wars movie at all. I don't have any problem with it. The only problems I have are with the re-releases. I hate the special editions. The only way you can watch... All of my praise goes to the original version of A New Hope, which you have to watch either illegally or you gotta pay $1,000 to get a DVD for it. I, for one, only have A New Hope on DVD with the original cut, but I was lucky because I found it at Goodwill. So.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And I have Return of the Jedi on VHS, but we'll get to that when we get to that. My only complaints are with those because it shits on everything I like about it. It has timeless practical effects and dirty, awesome looking sets. Fuck you. Now it has CGI everywhere. Oh, it has, great scenes of exposition, with Han Solo, explaining exactly, who he is and what kind of a person he is. Fuck you, now we have to add pointless scenes of exposition with a CGI sloppy-ass Jabba that we're gonna change in the other re-release. Oh, it shows exactly how Han Solo is, with Greedo. Fuck you. No. We can't do that. We can't do that because, it makes Han look like a bad guy. So now we have to have it to where Greedo shoots first. And then Han breaks his neck and dodges it because he's a hero. Or actually, no, I changed my mind. I could change my mind. Han can be edgy, but he still can't be evil. So how about we have it to where they shoot at virtually the same time? That'd be good. And every time we re-release the film, we change it up a little bit. So now in the latest scene, we have Greedo say a new line. Okay, there's one more line. It's really important we have this line. All right, so Han says, "Yes, I'll bet you have." And then Greedo says, "McClunky," because I don't know. Maybe it just specifies that Han knew that he was gonna get shot at? I mean, sure, it's not that big a deal. It is just one scene, and people could stop bitching about it. But honestly, I don't see what's the point of just keeping it the way it was! 10 out of 10. Instant classic.
Yeah, I give it a 10 out of 10.
Alright, next up is Empire Strikes Back. Now, is Empire Strikes Back as good as A New Hope? Nah, bro. Don't tell anyone I said this, but it's actually better. Okay, honestly, I don't know what to think about this movie. I keep flip-flopping on whether or not this one is better than A New Hope all the time. Mm-hmm. Today, you caught me on a day where I think that this is a good movie. And the reason why I can't decide on which one is better because I can't watch A New Hope without watching Empire Strikes Back right after. You know what I'm saying? And it is the only Star Wars movie that is virtually untouched by any special edition bullshit, because George Lucas didn't direct this one. Mark Hamill's acting is pretty good in this movie. You know?
Yeah.
Like, his performance as Luke is really, really good. James Earl Jones' voice is amazing. The lightsaber fight is probably the second best in the whole series.
I agree with that. It is a great choreography and all that.
But other than that, yeah, there's nothing really much to say about this. And also Yoda, I don't know.
Pretty cool.
Okay.
Yoda, that's great.
I love his beautiful speech about the Force that he has after he lifts the X-Wing out from under the thing. Yeah. It's just beautiful. It's perfect. Like, it explains what the Force is, and it explains his love for the Force. Yeah, another 10 out of 10, another instant classic.
Yeah, you gotta love Yoda, everybody. Yoda, top. Like,
we're gonna try to make this a snappy because our Marvel review was over an hour long.
It's almost 2 hours, right?
It's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
All right, next up is Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
Now, at first, this was my favorite one. But now, in hindsight, it's probably my least favorite of the original trilogy.
Okay.
I don't know. Because it begins... the movie begins with them just with this elaborate-ass plan that makes no sense. Like, he goes in, gets kidnapped, then another person goes in, gets kidnapped, Luke Skywalker goes in, gets kidnapped, and almost dies, but then they're like... And then he escapes, and then they're taken over to another monster where they almost die, and there's another fight in the desert.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This intro piece is way too long, okay? They could have just had Luke escape after fighting off the giant asshole thing that tries to eat him, instead of going to the other whole vagina-looking asshole thing, the spiky vagina that looks like a vagina that's supposed to kill him and eat him. Then they go to Endor, where it's boring. Just boring. Yeah. The movie only starts to get good when Luke surrenders to Vader, and where they have that speech before they end up on the Death Star. That is when the movie starts to get kind of good. Also, I hate that Luke and Leia are brother and sister. That did not need to happen. That was requests of bullshit, okay? The gods of shit had risen down to the bulls, and they were like, you must make these two related because incests.
Yeah,
so,
and the thing I don't understand is, how does Vader not know who Leia is?
Yeah,
like,
how does he
like,
not? How does he not know?
Force sensitive to Luke, he should be Force sensitive.
How did he not know that his fucking daughter was standing right in front of him in A New Hope?
Facts.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
he
should feel the Force with her. If he can
this movie breaks the saga.
That's a plot hole.
Yeah, it's
now next up.
No explanation to that.
Now, all right, so this is an 8 out of 10.
I give it 7.5.
I give it an 8.
Almost an 8.
Like it's great. I mean, I like it.
I give it an 8.
It's
now,
good. It's good.
About 2 or 3 decades later, George Lucas announced a new trilogy, which was supposed to come out. Yes. Which was then revealed to be a prequel trilogy. Now, did George Lucas actually end up portraying a faithful movie as a prequel to this amazing saga? No, he fucking shit all over it! These movies are bad! They're awful! They are the worst thing that ever happened to Star Wars! It hurts me! Okay? These movies are shit! You cannot tell me with a straight face that these movies are better than the originals. The originals are masterpieces, and these are turds! Giant turds! And a lot of people are saying, oh, well, these movies are better than the new movies. Well, guess what, guys? They are not better than the new movies. They are awful. They are bad movies, and I don't want to watch them again! So, we're here at the part of the video that a lot of you are probably thinking of. The prequels. Now, prepare for a hot take here, but I hate these movies. I barely even like them ironically. The only times I ever actually watch these movies is if I'm having a huge Star Wars marathon where I only watch the ending of Phantom Menace, none of Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith, and then the other movies. That's the only time I watch this. And if I ever watch any of the other movies, actually, like, casually. It's only when I'm watching it with Finn and we poke fun at all the bullshit.
The only good thing in there is...
Nothing!
The prequels,
Ass!
The only good acting in there was probably...
Ass!
ObiWan.
Ass!
The bad
Ass! The prequels suck ass. They are factually awful. They fail at almost everything in the cookbook of filmmaking. These 3 movies are literally the worst thing to ever happen in Star Wars history, and I say that with no remorse, and I am 100% serious. They came up with these movies with bad acting and a racist Jamaican stereotype. And they also have terrible-ass writing, terrible-ass acting, terrible-ass flirting, terrible-ass chemistry, and just ass. Ass! So, here is the basic plot of every scene in the movie. So, characters infiltrating a place. Characters coming up with a plan. Characters coming up with a plan. Characters talking about the plot. Characters meeting someone new and coming up with a plan. Characters coming up with a plan. Characters coming up with a plan. Characters coming up with a plan and escaping, then coming up with a plan. Characters coming up with a plan. Bad flirting. Characters coming up with a plan. Characters coming up with a plan. And a giant fight scene. There you go. That's literally the Phantom Menace. In fact, there is no plot of the Phantom Menace. I even asked a lot of people. I asked everybody. I asked everybody in my school, which is a very small school because I go to a private school. What's the plot of the Phantom Menace? And they said, I don't know. There is no plot of the Phantom Menace. Like you can't watch the movie. Like, if you were to watch the movie and I asked you what the basic plot was, you wouldn't be able to answer that question. That's how bad this movie is. There's also no main character. It's not Qui-Gon Jinn because he fucking dies. Yeah. And he's boring. It's not Obi-Wan Kenobi because he barely does anything in the movie. It's not Anakin because he doesn't show up till almost an hour into the movie.
Facts.
And also, it's definitely not... The closest thing to a main character is Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
And speaking of the devil, the next thing that everybody's talking about, the one thing that everybody hates about this movie, Jar Jar Binks.
Oh yeah.
In my opinion,
funny character, but
hey, in my opinion, I honestly don't think he's that bad. Anyways,
and Padme, you don't know what about her.
Okay, hear me out. Jar Jar Binks is stupid. He's annoying. He looks like the love child of Bugs Bunny and the Annoying Orange. But if you actually look at it, Jar Jar Binks is the only character that moves the plot along.
Yeah.
That's actually true.
He's the closest thing to a main character. The only reason why people hate him is because you literally cannot understand what he is saying. Also, speaking of main characters, which is barely even a main character, Anakin is in this movie as a little boy. And he's played by none other than Jake. I am firing my acting coach, Lloyd. Like, what the fuck was Lucas on when he cast this kid?
He acts like he doesn't want to be there.
He doesn't even act. The only time we ever see any chemistry with him is when he leaves the planet to go with Qui-Gon Jinn. When he leaves his mother. That's the only time we see any acting from him. And also, fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn they seem like they hate each other. Okay? They have no chemistry. In fact, the only time they have chemistry is at the end of the movie. Anyways, the best part of the movie is obviously the fight scene, which is probably the best part. It's probably the best fight scene in any Star Wars movie.
It was like Infinity War, Wakanda fight scene almost, with the barrier.
No, the only thing I hate about... No, I'm talking about the lightsaber fight.
Oh, the lightsaber fight. Oh,
dummy!
I thought you were talking about the whole fight.
No! The lightsaber fight was all the film needed. Because with everything else, the film is so crowded. It's like, I can't even... I don't even know what the fuck is going on. In fact, what are they fighting for?
I don't even know.
The fight looks cool, but what is it for? Like, what is their goal here? What do the bad guys want? What do the good guys want? What's
the reason?
There is none.
I don't understand.
It's sad because even a lot of official Star Wars viewing guides recommend you skip this movie.
It serves really no purpose, really, any type of plot, except for the Old Republic, which people don't really care about.
No one knows about the Old Republic anyways.
It's a video game and a book. And
I have the game, and the game is much better than this shit.
Yeah.
And I don't even like the game.
Yeah.
The mechanics are ass. But at least I'm doing something, rather than just sitting down, waiting for something to happen. I'm waiting for some movie, but I end up falling asleep into a coma. And the thing that wakes me up from it is when Jar Jar Binks screams, "Mr. Going home!" 2 out of 10. I hate that you all did this to me.
3 out of 10 for the fight scene.
2.
3.
It's 2 out of 10 because of the fight scene.
One of them, I would say is...
What would you rate it?
I don't understand why everybody...
Rate it, goddammit!
Darth Maul.
Rate it, goddammit!
Just because
Rate
he has
the f***ing thing!
Just because he has
Ass!
a
Ass!
So yeah, the Phantom Menace is...
Ass!
The Phantom Menace is...
Ass!
The Phantom Menace is...
Ass!
Phantom Menace is...
Ass! Next up, you have to come closer to the f***ing mic. Penis! Next up, Attack of the Clones.
I don't even remember half of this movie. All I remember is Padme.
And Anakin. That's all I remember. I don't know what the hell is happening. And also, Obi-Wan Kenobi is an idiot in this movie because he knew about the clones, okay?
Didn't do anything.
He found out about the clones, and he knew that they were clones of Jango Fett. And he knew that Jango Fett was the Slayer for Padme at the beginning of the movie, which actually I will talk about that in a minute. And he knows that Jango Fett is associated with Count Dooku. If he just said something about that, he could have prevented the whole war. Like when Anakin and Obi-Wan chase after the shapeshifter, Jango Fett has an open, has literally been invited to kill Padme. But instead, he goes out of his way to assassinate the person he hired to assassinate Padme.
Oh
Secretly genius, these prequels are. You're full of shit! And there's so much missed opportunities in this movie. Like, imagine, in the bar. Like, and also, the fact that the bitch is a shapeshifter adds nothing to the plot. Just pretend she's not a shapeshifter. Pretend she's not a shapeshifter. And she doesn't shapeshift when she dies. It changes nothing about the plot or her character at all.
Exactly.
You introduce a shapeshifting character into your movie, but you never ever shapeshift. Like the bar scene. That could have been a very cool scene. Like, think about it. What if Anakin is walking through a bar, and then all of a sudden, he attacks Obi-Wan? And for a moment, you think, what the fuck? And then it turns out that she disguised herself as Obi-Wan as she reveals her true form. And then it would explain how powerful of a Jedi Anakin is becoming. And it would make more sense why he would be upset in Episode 3 of him not being granted the rank of Master. And also, no, we're not even done talking about the beginning of the movie because there's so much bullshit.
With the Republic and shit.
Yeah, and also, like, Obi-Wan says, like, I'm gonna play this one scene for you from the movie.
We will not exceed our mandate, my young Padawan learner.
Yeah, we will not exceed our mandate, my young Padawan learner. Allow me to explain this by jumping out of a fucking 100-story window! Wouldn't it make more sense if it was Anakin who jumped out of the window? Because he's the one who's madly in love with her, and he's the one who's the impatient, cocky asshole. It makes no sense that Obi-Wan jumped out of the window to grab a tiny-ass little robot. And what's even more awful is that he gets mad at Anakin when he does the exact same thing in the speeder. And also, speaking of Anakin jumping out of the speeder, okay, let's play another scene from the movie.
Excuse me. I hate it when he does that.
Okay, what? No! What in the name of Yoda's sweaty green butthole was that? I mean, what did Obi-Wan say earlier in the movie?
Besides, your senses aren't that attuned to my young apprentice.
Yeah, Anakin, your senses are definitely not that attuned. They're only good enough for you to jump off of a giant speeder that's probably 1,000 feet in the air, and then start flying through the sky, and then grabbing onto a specific speeder out of a million, and not getting hit, and grabbing onto it perfectly. And also, Yoda is fucking stupid in these movies. Remember how I talked about how much I love his speech of the Force in Empire Strikes Back?
Mm-hmm.
That is completely ignored in these movies. And he's always his resolution is to always go. I'm so appalled that people do not have a bigger problem with Yoda in these movies. Like, Yoda in the prequels is literally everything Yoda shouldn't be. Like, instead of trying to fight with peace, he always goes in with the intent to kill. And he's always saying, "Oh, the dark side is clouding my judgment." Come the fuck on, man. Give me some real story. You can't just say the dark side is doing something. Yeah, and it's so stupid. Yoda is completely awful in this movie. I should never see Yoda bouncing around with a fucking lightsaber. But no, remember, these are the movies that are better than the new movies. These are the movies that get to be Star Wars movies. 2 out of 10, and I hate you all made me do this. This is it. We're here. The last movie in the prequels. And this is the one that people always have said is the good one. And I will admit, it is not nearly as bad as the other two. But it's still not good! Now, there's one thing about this movie that really bothers me. Now, a scene will play out. For example, the fight scene with General Grievous and Obi-Wan Kenobi. That will happen. And I will find myself enjoying it. But it just keeps going. All the scenes in this movie are way too long.
How long is the movie?
Like, it was originally supposed to be 4 hours. The opening scene where they rescue Palpatine from General Grievous was supposed to be an hour long.
Dude, it's like freaking...
The opening scene of the movie was supposed to be an hour long.
It's like the beginning of, like, Empire Strikes Back, right? Or, no, not Empire Strikes Back.
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
Even then, that was only, like, 40 minutes. Not even 40 minutes. Like, I don't know.
Half an hour. Maybe less.
I never mentioned the title crawls in the movies. I think that the title crawl in the original trilogy is amazing. It's simple and straight to the point. So, the title crawl opens, and it's written as if it were written by a certain orange individual.
I think there's blame on both sides. You look at both sides, very fine people on both sides.
I know Sith. I know many Sith lords, Jedi, Sith, both people. They love me. Tremendous people on both sides. Believe me. It opens the title crawl, and it says, like, Palpatine was kidnapped. Off screen. What the fuck, man? Now, yes, you have to watch the Clone Wars cartoon in order to see that, and it's really cool there. But if I'm showing somebody these movies, this is the stupidest thing ever. So yeah, Obi-Wan goes to do some other shit. One Jedi.
Uno.
One Jedi to defeat the person who could, like, if defeated, will end the Clone War.
You should sound like 50.
So, after that shit, Palpatine reveals himself to, Anakin.
Yeah.
After Anakin hasn't gotten hasn't even gotten a fucking hint.
This entire time.
So then, he goes over to Mace Windu, tells him what's going on. And then he goes to arrest him, and he brings 3 Jedi with... You're about to arrest the fucking Dark Lord of the Sith. And the number of Jedi that you bring with you is so small, I can easily count it on one hand. Fucking Yoda could have counted it all on one hand. What is the issue with the Jedi and their inability to send the right amount of Jedi for a given task? Some fucking trade bullshit that's kind of a big deal. They only send 2 Jedi. A mission to defeat a droid that, if defeated, could end the war They only send one Jedi. And on a mission to arrest the Dark Lord of the Sith, who is behind everything that you have been trying to figure out, you send 4 Jedi. And a mission to save a single captured Jedi, you send 212? And guess how many come out of that fight? 30!
Now the Jedi are all but extinct.
Yeah.
And now we know why. They're idiots! Anyways, Anakin turns to the fucking dark side for literally no reason out of goddamn nowhere, just to save his wife. It's one thing to say, learn the ways of the dark side to save the one you love. Okay? That is one thing. Okay, it's one thing to say, I want to learn the ways of the dark side so I could save the person I love. But when you go on to kill children to save a loved one, I don't call that evil. I call that clinically insane. Then it builds up to the final fight. On Mustafar, we have Ewan McGregor and our 2 Razzie Award winner. And on Coruscant, we have a green old puppet who talks versus a wrinkly old man in a bathrobe. Fuck yeah! Fight! Now you're probably wondering what we think of these fights. They're good.
They're good fights.
They have issues up the ass, but they're entertaining. Enough. See, there's several issues here. The Anakin Obi-Wan fight is too long. And also, the Yoda fight has no point. It has no issue. It adds nothing to the plot whatsoever. We all know that all 3 of these guys are gonna survive. The only one that makes sense is Anakin's fight. Because it adds something to the plot. It shows how he got burned. Mm-hmm. But the Yoda one is just, no. That didn't need to happen. If you had to add the Yoda fight, here's what I would have done. In all 3 of the prequels, Yoda does not need a cane. And then in his fight with Sidious, he gets wounded, and it explains why he needs the cane in the original trilogy, and it also explains why he can do all those flips in the prequels.
Dude, that would have been so cool. That would more wasted potential.
Exactly. Anyways, and it would also explain why Yoda fleets the fight. Because in the movie, he just sort of gives up for no reason. This is it, guys. We're done. Darth Vader becomes Darth Vader. Luke Skywalker ends up on Tatooine. But wait, what? What? You're bringing... What? This movie's broken me. So you had the right idea with sending Leia with 2 complete strangers. Why the fuck would you have Luke with his bloody family? You think Anakin, with all the resources, would not think to look there? 5 out of 10. 4 out of 10? I don't know, one of those 2. Another decade later, we finally got a new Star Wars movie. So, it's time to talk about another good Star Wars movie. I'm just going to put it out there. This may be a hot take for some of y'all. I love The Force Awakens.
I like it too.
I don't think you understand. I was so excited to see this movie when it first came out. The most excited I have ever been to see a movie since Endgame.
Dude,
I remember I went on opening night. The movie ended, and I immediately wanted to go back in and watch more.
Dude, I remember we were like...
We were in 5th grade.
We were in 5th grade, and we were like lightsaber fighting 2 of the freaking trailers.
Yes, I remember that.
That's how hyped.
Yeah, we were lightsaber fighting. Not only to the trailers, but we were like 5th grade. We were a bunch of Star Wars retards. Mm-hmm. We loved Star Wars, and we were so excited to see this fucking movie, and it's the best sequel.
Didn't disappoint at all.
It didn't disappoint. It did not disappoint. And I do not understand why people say that The Force Awakens is not a good movie.
I don't understand.
It is up there with the original trilogy. Fucking A tier. Not S tier, but A tier. It's the closest thing Disney has made to a Star Wars movie. Okay? This is the only one that really feels like Star Wars. Mm-hmm. This one had lots of dirt on everything. This had lots of practical effects. It had lots of aliens with interesting identities. It had characters with interesting identities. Mm-hmm. And also, I loved Finn in this movie. Like, his arc was probably the best out of them all in this movie. And it sucks because he's ruined in the next movies.
Oh, man, dude. I don't even want to get to that.
Me neither. We're not going to talk about Rogue One or Solo or The Mandalorian because, first of all, I haven't seen The Mandalorian, and I don't think I ever will because I don't care. And I hate Solo, and we're not going to ever talk about that ever again. And Rogue One, I just don't want to talk about. Anyways, Force Awakens is pretty good. I still feel that way, and I never will change my mind.
Yeah.
Every time I go to rewatch this movie, it just brings back so many amazing Star Wars memories. I feel like time traveling back to when Disney Infinity was a thing. Remember that game?
Dude,
and the Star Wars, the Star Wars portion for Disney Infinity?
That was so good.
That was so fun. I was so excited.
We were also in
for
5th
this
grade.
movie. Exactly.
Yeah, dude.
Now, before we go on to the rest of the movies, a lot of people say that the prequels are better than the sequels.
No.
To that I say, what? Oh, at least the prequels had some original ideas. Who the fuck says stuff like that? Original ideas don't make something better. A movie can still have original ideas and be ass. Have you seen Shark Boy and Lava Girl? Have you seen Psycho Nurse? Have you seen Barney's Great Adventure? Any of the movies that we've reviewed? Stranger Things does not have a single original idea and is often considered to be a masterpiece. Avengers Endgame, all the Marvel movies are generally looked at as like some of the greatest cinematic universe of all time. They're based on comic books. Something doesn't need original ideas to be good. I mean, she's perfect at everything and doesn't make any mistakes and is like a perfectionist.
That is not true at all.
No, it is true.
Well,
it is true. But
I
don't have a problem with a Mary Sue, especially not in Star Wars. Everyone in Star Wars is a Mary Sue. Oh, how come Obi-Wan Kenobi was able to defeat a Sith Lord in the Phantom Menace and his master couldn't even do it? Huh? How was Luke Skywalker able to use the Force without any training whatsoever in it? Everyone in Star Wars is a fucking Mary Sue, and they need to stop picking on Rey because she has a vagina. At least she has to, like... And they say, and another thing that these people say is, A New Hope is this movie is a retread of A New Hope. I see where they're coming from, but you're stupid. It's not a retread, it's a homage. Really think about it. In The Force Awakens, in A New Hope, Luke Skywalker is a farmer on a desert planet. And he wants to leave and pursue his dreams. In Force Awakens, Rey is also a farmer on a desert planet. But she wants to stay a farmer on a desert planet and has been there for years and has chosen to stay there to to live her fate. Now, speaking of characters, let's talk about characters. So, if this movie is a complete ripoff of A New Hope, who's the Luke Skywalker of the movie? I wouldn't say Rey because, I mean, like... their characters are very different. Luke is a whiny brat, and the whole point of Luke is that he's impatient. Mm-hmm. But the whole point of Rey is that she is patient. Who's the Han Solo of the movie? Well, not Poe because he's barely in it.
I'd say Han Solo.
It's not Finn because he doesn't have like that cocky arrogance. So the closest character to Han Solo is Han Solo.
Probably.
But even then, he's very different.
He's old. He has gray hair.
He's old. He has gray hair, and he's more of a mentor rather than just a cocky, arrogant douche. He's more of a grandpa sort of person, you know, like a cool hunter grandpa, you know.
Yeah, which means he's not like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
who is also a mentor figure.
But
So we don't have a Luke, we don't have a Han, we don't have an Obi-Wan, we don't have a Princess Leia, unless you count Princess Leia. Okay, that I understand. But even then, she's very different because she doesn't show up until like 40 minutes into the movie. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to say that Chewbacca is a ripoff of Chewbacca, then go ahead, but you're fucking stupid. The only character that really is a ripoff is BB-8.
Yeah, BB-8 ripoff of R2-D2.
Now, Kylo Ren is not a ripoff of Darth Vader because, like, he's just not. He's better. He's probably the best character in the whole trilogy.
Really?
Yeah. Because he's the only one that has an actual arc. A true arc. Like, the concept of somebody who has turned to the dark side and has done so many bad things and will continue to do bad things, but is constantly, like, resisting, like, the pull of the light rather than the other way around.
I think
it's like the opposite of like Anakin's arc, where somebody is already on the dark side but is being pulled to the light, rather than it being somebody on the light side being pulled to the dark. Anyways, I give Star Wars the Force Awakens, I don't know,
8 out of 10.
8.5 out of 10.
It's a good movie.
Now, before we go on to the next movie, let's talk about one of the most controversial things of this movie.
What?
Rey.
I like Rey.
I like Rey in all the movies. Now, I know people are going to say that and immediately click off this video because they're fucking sexists. They say that they hate Rey because she's a Mary Sue. Anyways, let's talk about good Star Wars now. This is going to come across as kind of controversial. I really like Last Jedi.
I think it's okay. It's not shit like everyone else says, but like
a lot of people are split about this movie. Some people say that it's the worst Star Wars movie ever.
No.
Other people say it's a masterpiece. That is not true. Both ways, it's not true. It's okay.
It's an okay. So
okay, the throne room scene is very good. The stuff with Luke, Leia, the stuff with like Luke Skywalker, Rey, and Kylo Ren is really, really good. That's really what I like. But the B plot with Finn, Rey, Poe, all that shit is fucking boring.
But that will never be as bad as the Phantom Menace and them being stuck on the freaking world.
Now I am somebody who does like this movie, and I can't complain about this. I can't complain about this movie in this way because I'm somebody who likes this movie. But fuck it, I'm gonna say it. I fucking hate Rose.
I don't really see like
she was born. She had no reason to be in the movie. Okay, she had no reason to be in the movie. She did not need to be in this shit, and it gives her even less of a reason because she's not even in the next movie. People bully her so much that they cut her out of the movie. That is just so sad. And why? Why? You know who should have teamed up with Finn on the mission?
Who?
Poe. Because the entire thing with Rose and Finn is that Rose is trying to tell Finn that battling, killing is not good. I'm sorry, he was a fucking stormtrooper who turned to the light side. I think he knows that already. Yeah. If anything, it should be Poe it should be Finn telling this to Poe. Because Poe is all about going wild and fighting off and going to the result to kill. Now, some of the things Rian Johnson was saying, like how Rey was a nobody, I really liked. But people said that they hated it. And it wasn't until they did something with it in the next movie that people started to say, oh, I like that. Mm-hmm. So they complain about her being a nobody. And so in the next movie, they actually relate her to somebody. But then when they do that, they still complain that they made her related to somebody. That is so stupid. Because if you saw that fucking the penis thingy from Empire Strikes Back that was about to eat the Falcon on the you know?
Oh yeah.
You know, if they saw that thing in Last Jedi, they'd be like, oh, how come that alien can breathe in space? What an objectively bad movie. That is the worst thing to say about this movie. Do not ever tell me that The Last Jedi is an objectively bad movie. An objective review of The Last Jedi would go like this. This movie is a Star Wars movie. This movie has characters. One of the characters is called Luke Skywalker. Another character is called Poe Dameron. There's no Boba Fett in the movie. It's an objectively bad movie. Now, I go both ways on this movie. I love and hate this movie at the same time. I'm straight down the middle on whether this is a good movie or not. The people that say that this movie is the worst thing that ever happened to Star Wars are just as biased as the people that call it a masterpiece. Now, one more thing I'd like to say about The Last Jedi before we end this is Snoke. People complain about Snoke's death and how it subverts their expectations. Now, on the one hand, I kind of understand that. But on the other hand, this is not Snoke's story. Snoke is not the main villain of the trilogy. Kylo Ren is. I give it like a, 5.
Middle ground.
Alright, so after that movie, we heard that J.J. Abrams was coming back for the next one. And I thought, since it's J.J. Abrams, the director of the crowd-pleasing Force Awakens, it would be a pretty good Star Wars movie that doesn't really change any minds about the fandom or doesn't really do anything like that. Just a harmless movie. And I have never been more wrong in my whole life. Rise of the Skywalker is really fucking lame. I cannot tell you, how insanely, cringe this movie is.
Oh, man.
This movie opens with the new worst title crawl of the entire Star Wars franchise. Woo! Palpatine is alive.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Listen, I'm not against the idea of bringing back Palpatine, but if you had to do it, don't reveal it in the trailer or the title crawl or in fucking Fortnite.
Wait, what?
Alright, before we talk about all the things that didn't work in this movie, let's talk about what did work. This portion of the video is probably going to be the longest. This movie felt like a Star Wars movie to me, in a lot of ways. If you're just a casual moviegoer, just looking for a movie to watch, then this is a pretty good movie, you know? And this movie does not take away from my Star Wars fandom. It does not do what Game of Thrones did, what Season 8 did to Game of Thrones, where I can't even watch any more Game of Thrones ever again because the ending is so awful. This is not like that. This is completely different. This does not diminish my fandom of Star Wars. It does not diminish my love of Star Wars. It felt like a Star Wars movie. Because, it had lots of lightsabers and action and shit like that, and lots of force.
Yeah.
But, that's another thing I have with the movie. The force in this new trilogy is fucking stupid. It's one thing to use the force as communication for, communicating with, Kylo Ren and Rey with the Force. I like that concept. There's some people that don't like it. I'm one of the people who likes it. I also like when Rey does this, she's like,
and then
that was fucking dope. And lots of people say, "Aw, that was stupid." People roll their eyes like that. And I'm like, man, fuck you. That was awesome. That looks awesome. But then they use the Force to fucking heal thing. Actually,
oh God.
healing the fucking worm and bringing back. No. It's one thing to use the Force for cool visuals. It's another thing when you use the Force as plot convenience. I do not like seeing the Force used as plot convenience. And after Rise of Skywalker, I don't want to see any more fucking Jedi for a while. Rise of Skywalker is pretty bad. It is pretty bad. It's not the worst Star Wars movie by any means, but it is pretty bad.
Especially with like the 15,000 Star Destroyers.
Yeah, 15,000 Star Destroyers, and each one of them has a goddamn Death Star laser. 4! We're up to 4 fucking different Death Stars. 4 Death Stars. And also, how did the orange lady find Luke's lightsaber?
I don't know.
They never explain it.
Plot hole. Or just, you know what?
And where the hell was Lando throughout the entire trilogy? Aside from Rise of Skywalker. And how the hell did he get 1,000 fucking spaceships to help him fight? The amount of times while watching the sequel trilogy, and I was like, if only they have done this. Or I cannot tell you how many times during Rise of Skywalker, especially, where I was like, what the hell? What the fuck? There's so many moments like that. I can't tell you how many times I was like, what? Whoa, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Whoa, what the hell?
Dude.
And also in Rise of Skywalker, he fucking raises the things with the Force, the giant, space, Star Destroyers with the Force, remember?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Dude, you just broke the Force!
That's not the Force anymore. That's
What, was there a fucking button and he just raised his arm for special effect? And also, this movie has so many fucking plot holes and plot convenience.
So many things that are unfinished.
And fucking MacGuffins that's...
I would have been more happy if this was 3 hours and they wrapped everything up.
It probably would have benefited if it was 3 hours, because like what they did with Avengers, you know?
That really wrapped it up. And you know what they should have done?
What?
They should have had the fans ideas
That's what led to the kiss.
Really?
That's what led to the kiss.
Actually?
But that's why I said Rise of Skywalker should have been called Rise of the Bad Fan Fiction.
Oh my god.
It feels like a fucking bunch of fan fiction. And also, Rise of Skywalker has 5 fake out deaths. 5.
Rise of Skywalker?
Yes, 5 fake out deaths. First up, we have, what's it?
C-3PO? Remember that?
No.
Oh,
First up is Chewie.
Oh, yeah.
Chewbacca, fake dies. Next up, what else is there? C-3PO, fake dies, kind of.
Kind of. They thought he had a really high chance of dying.
Yeah, well, it's not dying. More so, it's his memory's wiped. But
pretty much that's.
Then
it
comes back. Then it comes back. What was the next one? Kylo Ren has a fake out death in the battle.
I think I remember that.
Where he gets stabbed.
Oh, yeah.
But then she heals him. Then Kylo Ren has another fake out death where he falls down the pit.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then Rey has a fake out death where she dies. And then Kylo Ren brings her back to life.
Oh, my God.
5 fake... This is the most reactionary and aggressive Star Wars movie I've ever seen. Also, with Luke Skywalker, when he, when Rey throws the lightsaber and then Luke Skywalker catches it, he's a Force ghost. But if he could still interact physically with, other people, then what's stopping him from going into battle again, you know? Imagine if we got that ending, imagine if we had an ending with Mark Hamill, Yoda, Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor, what's his name? Sam Jackson, Hayden Christensen, all in one fight at the end of the movie. That would have been the coolest thing ever. Now again,
still not as bad as the prequels.
Exactly. And also, this does not take away from my love of Star Wars. Does not take away from my fandom at all. I still love Star Wars. I'll go back and watch the original movies as much as I want. This doesn't change anything. In fact, the sequel trilogy is basically just a trilogy that you don't have to accept. You could just pretend everything ended at Return of the Jedi. I'm just going to end this review of Rise of Skywalker. You know the problems. Rey being related to Palpatine was such a fucking dumb move.
Yeah, no. They related her to, like, someone else. Like, if they actually related her to, like, the Skywalkers in some type of way. Then
Yeah, because she is not a real Skywalker. She's not a real Skywalker.
If they related her to, like, a Skywalker and
Han,
she named herself
like
Skywalker.
Leia or Luke, then I would have liked that. In fact, this trilogy would have benefited if she really was a true Skywalker.
Wait, but then when she kissed.
Oh, wait.
More incest!
Also, why did they kiss? They didn't need to kiss. That did not have to happen. That was the fucking straw that broke the camel's back in this movie. I would have gave this movie like a fucking 6 out of 10, but because of that kiss, it has dropped down to a 4.
4. For me, it's like a 4.
There's no chemistry. No. There's no romantic chemistry at all. You might as well call this Star Wars Rise of the Bad fan fiction. Actually, you know what? Here's one more. This is a bonus thing. Clone Wars.
Oh, I haven't watched any of that. David's watched the whole thing.
Oh, the Clone Wars TV show is pretty good.
Yeah.
But the Clone Wars movie is fucking
the Clone Wars
shit.
movie,
It's
yeah.
shit.
I thought you were talking about the
Shit!
Clone Wars TV show.
You thought the prequels were bad? The Clone Wars movie is painful. Also, what else is there? What else is there? Rebels was okay.
Oh, yeah. The Bad Batch that came out.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen it.
And I don't care because it's nothing. Oh, we are forgetting one more.
What?
One more Star Wars movie. And you thought the prequels were bad?
Oh no, what is it?
This makes the prequels look like masterpieces. The worst Star Wars movie. So bad, George Lucas himself even said that if he had the time and a sledgehammer, he would destroy every copy of it. A film that is so bad that Harrison Ford denies its existence to this day.
And the tape's been passed around for years, and the rumors that Lucas is trying to suppress it. Do you remember making this Christmas special? I think it was 1978. No, you don't remember it? You have no memory of this incident.
No, none whatsoever.
No memory of it at all.
No,
so it doesn't exist in your...
No, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
No.
What if I were to tell you that I had a little piece of tape right now?
A film so bad that George Lucas was personally ashamed of it. The guy that said that this was okay and this was okay said that this one was what he was personally ashamed of. I'm going to go through that again. Okay, personally ashamed of. The Star Wars Christmas special.
I can't even compare it to anything.
I actually sat down and watched this. The whole thing.
How'd you live?
It was awful. I feel violated. It was like the movie. It's like the original trilogy was like a good friend to me. But then this movie happened, and it's like the original trilogy was like, hey, Vinman, why don't we play the no clothes game? I feel raped. I feel honest to God raped by this movie. It is that bad. It's just Chewbacca's family running around going,
No subtitles, by the way.
Yeah, no subtitles, nothing. And just a bunch of random ass shit. And there's this random porn segment. It's like it's so weird. There's a segment where Chewbacca's father looks at this thing and she's like, I am your fantasy. And she starts making a bunch of sex noises and he's fucking freaking out in his chair. Ugh. It's like, you know, like when like you're watching like a movie with your family and then like it cuts to commercial and then it shows a commercial for like condoms and it's like fucking awkward and it's like like you feel and you just feel like embarrassed like with your parents because it's on. You ever get that feeling? That's what this movie is. You know what? After seeing that fucking shit ass piece of shit, maybe the prequels maybe the prequels aren't so bad after all.
No, like the prequels are like 10 out of 10
compared to that.
Dude,
It's painful.
I don't even know, like...
It is the worst movie it's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Like, actually.
Literally. Like
don't even search
you
it
think
up.
You know what?
What?
Star Wars Christmas worse than Home Alone 4.
No, 10 times worse than Home Alone 4.
That's saying something. Home Alone 4 is generally seen as the worst sequel ever to be put to film.
Can you, like, find the Christmas special on, like, YouTube or something?
Yes.
It's still on YouTube. Don't watch it.
Don't. Do not. Don't give in to the dark side.
That's, like...
You will be sorry.
That's, like, the black hole of the dark side.
It is not the black hole of the dark side. It is the dark hole of the dark side. Anything's better than the Christmas special. Porn is better than the Christmas special. I'm not talking about the ones where you pretend you're getting a blowjob. Like angry porn. Like those insane, like vulgar, crude porn is much, much better than the Star Wars holiday special. But even then, I still love Star Wars, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. All right.
It's not canon, so I don't care. Actually, oh no, I'm wrong. It is canon.
It is? How?
One word. Or two words. Life Day.
I don't know what that is.
It's the Star Wars equivalent of Christmas that they celebrate in the Christmas special. And they reference it in The Mandalorian. 0 out of 10, Christmas is spoiled.
Alright.
So I'm not excited for anything else that's Star Wars because Star Wars sucks now. Alright, that was Vin, Finn, Dave reviewing Star Wars.